right. Enjoy.
Welcome back to the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. We are very pleased right now to have Robyn Lockner joining us in studio. Robyn, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
So I said the Browns women's group. What is the official title of the group? And if people want to join, how do they do it? If women want to join, how do they do it?
They go on through Facebook and they answer the questions.
She looked right at you, Mike.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mike lacked one of the requirements to getting in.
Yeah. Turns out you do have to be a woman.
That's the first question.
I know it was.
And
but
it
I
says, no, decline. Why are you trying?
Right. I know.
Does it really say that?
Yes, it
And by
does.
the way, that's how it works too. It turns out, because I was very much declined. Can you tell us about how long the group's been going on and how many of you there are, and just a little bit of history about the group?
The group was started in January of 2019, so just a little over 3 years ago. It was started because women got no respect at all in any of the other. There's a ton of Browns groups on Facebook.
Yes.
And you couldn't make a comment.
It's a real cesspool.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I got tired of arguing with guys all the time and trying to prove that, you know, hey, I can like football and be a woman.
Right.
And
so
no football.
I just was, I'll start my own group. I don't need.
So you started this group.
I started the group.
Okay.
Yes.
And
How
then-
many members?
Yeah, caught on.
Currently, we're at like 6,300 members worldwide. We're in like 10 different countries. We just had a meet and greet on Saturday, and we had around 50 other women show up. But it's hard to get everybody.
That's great, though.
Hard to get everybody there, you know.
And so tell us, is it how much better is it for you guys to talk Browns in a forum like that? Explain that.
I mean, we have the same like disagreements and discussions. It's just with more respect. We don't cut each other down. We don't call names. We don't bash our players. We don't bash the team. You know, we just like to talk the game. We talk the game. We talk what's happening, community events, players, things to that. Just normal football conversation.
Right.
So,
but without a bunch of people butting in and saying, "Well, let me tell you why you're wrong about that," and stuff like that.
And we do. I mean, I have a moderator that helps me. She actually is in Tennessee, so it's literally like a full-time job. But we kind of keep things on the straight and narrow.
How do you police each other in that way?
We didn't
what's
really.
What's it take to get like no longer welcome in the forums?
We didn't have to even have a lot of. We didn't have a lot of issues until Deshaun Watson came. Then we had to turn on post approval because every news article was pertaining to that. So everything created the rift, created the drama, created a split. So they've just learned over the years to agree to disagree and have different opinions and to be respectful of each other's thoughts and opinions.
This is interesting, though. I'm sorry. This is interesting that you said prior to this, everybody pretty much got along and you didn't have to throw anybody out or anything like that or sanction anyone or whatever.
Right.
But that sort of disagreement and rift within your community only came when the signing happened.
Oh, yeah.
And how's that been going in there? What's the overall tone?
We've had to turn on post approval, which has given us more work to do, Anastasia and I. But it's like I said, they've learned to just kind of agree to disagree and voice their opinions respectfully, without saying, you know, like, you're an idiot. Why would you think that? You know, that's, you know, they've just learned to be a little bit more respectful. Some women have left. I mean, for every 100 women that left the group when we signed, that said, I can't be a Browns fan anymore because of this, you know, and they literally left the group. We got 100 more that wanted to come in. So,
so what does the percentage feel like within the group right there, anti this move as opposed to pro this move, or at least accepting this move?
I mean, I haven't polled the group, so I mean, I can't really speak on that for the group.
Sure.
But I mean, it's kind of like there's a lot that are for and a lot that are against, and to the point now that, you know, every other day 2 more, we're coming out in multiples of 2 now, obviously, that, you know, it's just, we're like, seriously, here's 2 more, okay, you know, so it's like I said this morning, we got 40 more women to go, so why is anybody surprised at what's happening?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I think that, no, it's good. I think that there would be a lot of men that would assume there'd be less divide on this topic about women which I didn't think would be the case, and you're saying is not the case, that there is as much divide amongst women
Absolutely.
Browns fans as there is amongst men Browns fans.
I mean, we're women. We're not different than
Exactly.
men. We have the same opinions that you guys do. We just do it a little bit more respectfully to each other in our group.
I'll co-sign that.
I also,
I mean,
I do think though, based on the nature of the crime, it would make sense that that women might be more sensitive to this, as opposed to if he had gotten busted for stealing a bunch of cars or something like that.
Exactly.
Then it would be like I could understand, but it probably is a different perspective, I would assume, coming at this from a female Browns fans.
Absolutely.
And
especially female Browns fans who have been victims of sexual assault.
Sure.
You know, we have massage therapists in our group. So,
wow.
I mean, we get their perspective from it as well, you know, and the same goes with hairdressers or anything like that.
Right.
I mean, no
Robyn,
offense,
where
but
are
y'all
you?
are men. You can't control things.
Robyn, where are you on this? Did you like the move? Dislike
I did
the
not
move?
like the move.
Why not?
Because of the baggage. I mean, let's be honest.
perception, at least.
Let's be honest. The Browns have been the laughingstock of the NFL for how many years now? I mean, a long time, going back to the Art Modell era. So, you got a great player, but he comes with this baggage. Did I like the signing? No. If the Browns would have waited until all the civil suits were done and over with, all this was cleared up, then signed him. That would have been completely different. You know, we know whether he's guilty or innocent. We know how many women there are total. And instead, we're playing the long game, and we're going 2 by 2 by 2. Just do it, you know. I mean,
Will this affect your fandom?
I was going to ask that question too. How is it for you?
I'm a diehard fan. I mean, I live literally, and my husband will attest to this. If anybody's not talking to me about Browns football, I don't listen. It doesn't affect my fandom because Deshaun Watson is not the Cleveland Browns. He may be the face of the Cleveland Browns at this point in time, but he's not the team. And I love Chubb and Myles Garrett and Kareem Hunt, and I'm not going to say I'm not a Browns fan because of one player. I mean, it is a business. So players come and players go, and we're all aware of that. But to say I'm no longer a fan because of one signing, I mean, I wasn't happy they let Hollywood go. That was my boy. I like Hollywood. Since 2016, when we signed him, I knew he's going to be the player, but very underrated, never got used like he should have. But, you know, he left. That doesn't mean I'm not a fan of the Browns anymore. That just means now I have to follow Hollywood individually with the Panthers. So.
Did you guys have that same type of divisiveness with topics like Baker Mayfield? Baker Mayfield was a huge divisive topic for a lot of other Browns fans. How was it in your group?
Same. It was absolutely the same. We have a ton of women from Oklahoma that are in the group that love Baker, following him through the college days, and then we really like Baker in the group. And Baker has a great personality. The progressive commercials, were hilarious, and we kind of like the behind-the-scenes things with the players, because it actually shows that they are people also instead of just athletes on a field. So yeah, they love Baker. The group loves Baker.
Let's show your football fan muscle, because enough of this. We've got your talk on that. One of the things that we've been beating this drum, and a lot of media members were last year. Where is the group? Where are you on the notion that for some reason we can't put Chubb and Hunt in the backfield or on the field at the same time?
Well,
does that drive you as crazy as it does us?
Yes, and I do after the games on Sundays, Mondays, whatever. I do what I call it Robyn's recap. And I always do it the next day because, depending on the outcome, I'm sometimes too mad to do it.
You need a cooling down period.
Yeah,
right.
And I need to just basically think it out, replay. Where were we off? What could we have done here? And so I wait until the next morning and I do my little recaps. But I have said that for years. Why are we not putting both backs? Why are we not putting all three back there somewhere? I mean, I got so many coaching questions. It's not even funny on what we're doing with play calling and stuff to that nature.
What was the mood in the forum when the Njoku extension happened?
Everybody seemed to like that. I mean, Njoku has improved from at least the last 2 years. He's gradually, when he requested that trade, he's kind of had an off year there, and so we were, I guess, tabling maybe that. Is he tradable, or what are we going to get out of him?
Right.
But then, he stepped up. He wanted to stay. He made some changes. He improved himself, and I think he keeps improving year after year. A little overrated, maybe, worth that money, but
he agrees.
He's tall. He's got so much better with his hands on catching.
Yeah,
he's not making as many drops as he used to, years ago. So I think it was good to keep him.
All right, Robyn, you were here for that game we played with the Superlatives, so we'll throw a couple of them at you. I know we're just at the moment. So one of them was the best player on the Browns. We had 3 different answers: Myles Garrett, Nick Chubb, and Deshaun Watson. I mentioned also maybe you could put Batonio in there too. Who would be your choice? For the best
Nick
player?
Chubb, obviously. Nick Chubb.
She knows
And Myles Garrett.
Every time she agrees with me, I'm going to say
and me too.
And you too, yeah.
Bull and I almost never agree.
That's right. That's right. So Nick Chubb is the best, you think?
Yes.
Well, let's follow that up with somebody who has the most to prove this year. One person you got your eye on.
That's a tricky one, too.
Yeah.
That's
My
hard
opinion, the person who has the most to prove is Greedy Williams.
That's a good one, too.
Oh, that is a good one.
He was a high draft pick also, and
High
he hasn't
draft
done
pick.
much.
Always injured.
Yeah.
He's got a lot to prove. I'm sort of kind of surprised we still have him, to be honest.
Shots
point.
fired, Greedy Williams.
No,
I mean,
I agree.
He's a
I like
great.
that.
Yeah.
I thought there was a chance he could be a surprise cut last year in training.
Yeah.
I just like the you just impressed G. Bush with your ruthlessness.
Yeah,
I just thought he goes. I like that she's being mean to him.
I wasn't being mean. I just think he needs to step up.
Right.
Don't. Not everything's an injury. Sometimes you got to suck it up. I mean, come on.
That's right.
It's football.
You sound like my mother right now.
I have 5 boys, so.
Oh yeah.
5 boys?
Wow,
boys.
no kidding.
Yeah, there's no mercy. It's like you're not bleeding, you're fine.
Yep, get in there.
How about most overrated and underrated on the Browns? Do you have one for those?
Underrated, I think, is probably Anthony Schwartz.
You think
Really?
You think he's got a chance to shine?
I'm hoping. I'm hoping he does. He's so fast.
He is.
I would like to see us take advantage of that.
You think he's going to get some
I
opportunities?
also think Jakeem Grant is kind of.
Yeah, nobody said that.
I like
underrated
that.
as well.
Yeah.
He's a new return guy. He's gonna get an opportunity. I think he play a lot on offense too.
Yeah.
I like that.
And overrated, I'm going to probably say Jedrick Wills.
Yeah.
Jedrick.
Wow, that was 3 then, all told for Wills.
Yep.
Yeah.
Not Charlie Hewlett, the long
Well,
snapper.
Well,
It's all right. I'll die on that hill alone.
Yeah.
What's your biggest concern heading, besides Watson, because we don't know what's going to happen there, but besides Watson, biggest concern on the team right now?
I don't really have a big concern on the team. My big concern is play calling.
So you're down on Stefanski.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say down. I just want him to be creative, and he's not. He's predictable.
What was the chatter when the Browns hired Kevin Stefanski? I've heard from women I know that he's somewhat attractive. I imagine that became a thread in the group.
Are you saying you're incapable of seeing that man is beautiful?
Come on, you like
He's a
this
good
What
looking
does it
guy.
matter
You don't
with
need to
him?
be a woman to
It's
know
a
he's
beautiful
good looking.
man.
I
salt
think
and
he's
peppers.
referred to a lot as a silver fox. So
Nice.
yes.
Real question though, did he become less attractive because of how he coached last year as opposed to, was he more attractive to people in
Yes.
2020 than he was in 2021?
Well, I can't honestly answer that because I've not seen anybody post any pictures of him without a shirt on.
Right, true. Yep.
So
That's a good point.
But they do like to post pictures of him at like outings and things.
When
of
you
that
coach the
nature.
Browns, though, you age like a president. You really do.
No, that boy, you weren't kidding.
That's
So
100% true.
let me ask you this. So you got 5 boys, right?
Yes.
So I know you cook up a storm. I know you get it together. What is your game day routine? Like, what is your if you
Home or away?
Home.
We have a bus.
Okay.
Does that shock anyone?
Yeah,
I
like a
didn't
whole,
think so.
like is this a big?
Did you drive here in it?
We haven't even
I did
talked
not
about
drive
your
here.
outfit.
Is
I
it
mean, she's wearing brown stuff from head to toe.
I
Even her
expected that.
shoes.
Yeah.
There's my bus.
Oh, there's the bus.
Oh, there's
Look
the
at
bus
that.
right
We
there.
got it.
Is there any? What type of food is on this bus? Because I'm big.
We have a Browns grill, actually. So we just take whatever, sausage, hamburgers, hot dogs. We do stuff in a crock pot and we sit it out. And
it's
that's my dog, Cleveland.
The Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show needs a bus.
Why
I've just
can't we-
decided.
Yeah.
We out here. We
You did not
losing.
drive that here though today, unfortunately. Did you?
No,
Darn
I
that
don't
would've
drive
been
it.
fun.
My son drives the
do a
bus.
bus.
What is that?
My son's
That's
a
why
bus
you
That
have
driver.
is awesome.
What is that
this.
game that we just played?
It wasn't a game.
Oh, what was that?
Have I been on that bus?
It's a table. You
I
have
think
to-
I
oh
haven't.
my.
No.
Oh, okay.
It's a table. The
Oh,
top
those
lifts
cup
up.
holders on the end.
I might have been on that
Yeah,
bus and you
they're
didn't know it.
cup- You gotta have a place to hold your beer.
Can
so,
we do a show from
you
that
know,
bus?
How did you? Who designed that and who like?
It was. I have 5 boys and
Yeah.
my husband,
Yeah.
and
Community effort.
my husband traded 2 guns to get that bus.
That is the most Ohio thing
That's so
I've heard all
redneck,
day.
right?
Easily the most Ohio thing I've heard all day.
I'll give you 2 guns for the bus. Deal.
Yo,
Man.
It worked.
Well,
Sure,
don't
I'd
Look
worry.
what I
rather
got.
have the bus. I'm not
worked.
gonna
Don't
lie.
worry. The governor just made it easy for you to get those guns back.
yeah.
So the bus was like red and white, and it was a camper, like
Yeah.
a traveling when we bought it. And
That's
me
awesome.
and
Good.
my sons and my husband, we gutted it out and
Converted the whole thing.
Yes, we converted the whole thing, and that was.
You hit every game?
My Browns every home game, yes.
Nice,
Season
nice.
ticket holder, so I'm there.
So what's your pregame ritual on road games when you're at the house? What do you cook? What's on the
It just
on the
depends
menu?
on what they request. They always have different things they
Do they?
request, but it's always ready before a game because I'm not cooking in the
Yeah,
middle of
once
the game,
kickoff
you know?
starts, you're working.
Right,
you're working to
absolutely.
watch
Good
the
luck,
game.
everybody.
Yes.
Yeah.
These are some pictures from the group? Is that what we're looking
yep.
at now? That's cool. And you guys have like regular like get-togethers and stuff.
We had our first get together, but usually they want to meet up at games and stuff or tailgate. And
Yeah.
Are you at training camp all the time?
I love training camp.
Nice.
I love training
Do
camp.
you have a prediction? Let's do 2 predictions here.
Okay.
Deshaun Watson somehow miraculously plays the whole season.
Not
What are
gonna
the,
happen.
what are the, what? It's not going to happen. But if maybe he'll play all next year. What kind of team are we looking at with Watson if he's on the season? If he's on the field the whole season?
That would be great. No denying he's a superior quarterback.
Sure.
And we've given him weapons. I mean, he's undoubtedly, I definitely think we'd be a Super Bowl contender.
Really? Yeah.
Why
12,
wouldn't we be?
13 wins maybe?
Why wouldn't we?
Listen.
Who's going against us?
I've
Lamar?
heard in Cleveland, I've heard Super Bowl contender a couple of times the last 3 or 4 years. Hasn't worked out
Well,
that way.
the Browns would be a Super Bowl contender if Watson played 17 games.
Yes.
However, there are a number of other Super Bowl contenders in the AFC because the AFC
the
is
AFC
so strong.
It's unbelievable. It's as tough as I can ever remember it being.
Yes.
Right.
At least coming into the season.
But
What
not
if they have to
Pittsburgh.
go with a backup quarterback the whole
Pittsburgh
year?
sucks
And that's
now.
possible too. I love you.
Pittsburgh does suck.
What if they have to go with a backup quarterback the whole year, which is possible?
I like Jacoby Brissett, but if we're trading Baker or whatever the talks may be, because every day it's something different and the media brings out something different to just stir the pot. So,
Love stirring that pot.
yes. So I think if they're going to bring somebody else in, if I had to say, I would say go after Cam Newton because he's still sitting out there.
Yeah. Interesting. Interesting.
Listen, she on the way. Put the camera back on. Get rid of these shots. We got to endorse her. Right now, she's on the waiver wire. She done told you 2 or 3 things she's upset about Kevin Stefanski. She said, go get me Cam Newton as a backup to the backup. Listen, this woman is talking that real talk. If you're a woman, you need to be joining this group because this group actually has people that listen and know football, and
We
she's
do
at
know
training
football.
camp every single day. I'm just saying. That's a personal endorsement, like it didn't mean
Thank you.
anything.
Here's an offer that I think that we should make, and take it or leave it. You guys have your conversations in there, and first of all, that was one of the nicest groups that's ever rejected me, and I appreciate that.
And he's been rejected a number of times.
Believe me, I'm so used to it. I have so many calluses. I felt nothing, but it was an honor to be rejected by you. But if you guys are ever talking about something in there, we don't expect to be privy to it. But if there's anything that you ever, a conversation that you think is important, that you think it would be helpful for other people to see, if you send that to us, we're happy to post it from our social media too and stuff.
Sure.
And if that's ever something you want, and that includes if you want us to help recruit, or like say, ladies, if anybody wants to join this group or anything. I'm sorry, I'm speaking on behalf of as if I, but
You're mansplaining.
no, I'm just saying if there's anything that you want to educate us on that you think would be helpful for us to know.
What do we get wrong? So from a woman's perspective, what's the biggest mistake that men as fans make?
You mean towards women's fans or
In general,
in the
maybe it
groups,
could be
or-
the way we look at women's opinions in sports, or are we too aggressive? Do we want to fire everybody too fast? Like, what's our hitch?
bandwagons?
Are we really?
My opinion
That's
is
interesting. Because
Yeah,
I've been with
okay,
this team
so-
for 56 years and I've got nothing to show for it. I mean, nothing.
Well, let's see. So we get Deshaun Watson. Everybody's excited about this, right? For the most part, the men are all, yes, we got a quarterback. We're going to the Super Bowl, blah, 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 blah. The women are like, hold up. He's got baggage. What about us? We don't care about you. You mean nothing. I would love to have a conversation with Jimmy Haslam as to see why he sold the Browns to Deshaun Watson, because he don't own them anymore. $230 million, Deshaun Watson owns the Browns.
Yeah.
So
He's at least renting them for 4 or 5
right.
years.
Were
and I
they
wanna
fair to
see-
Baker, in
no,
your view?
No, they were not fair to Baker.
Tell us why not.
Why are you going to tell Baker? Baker's going to be our starting quarterback. Baker's our guy. We're sticking with Baker, and then you screw him over like that.
Look at him when you say that.
It's football. It's business. They don't owe him anything.
I get it, but don't you think he took us to a playoff? Don't you think, out of respect, that they should have at least said, "Hey, Baker, we know you were injured, but your numbers sucked. You were off.
Right.
We shouldn't have played you, and they should not have played him as the coach. He should have said, I get you got the guts and you want to get out there and play.
I 100%
But you're
agree
going to
with
sit
that.
down because we don't want to injure you anymore.
Right.
So I feel that me, not the group,
Yeah.
I feel that they kind of, injured Baker on top of the injury because he's not going. Nobody wants him. He's still sitting here on our roster.
Right.
But, and I get that it's a business, but what pisses me off is Baker being Baker and cocky like he is. It seems like he's not fighting, and I want Baker to go to training camp. I want Baker to have that cocky attitude and say, listen, I can do this. Let me show you that I'm as good as Deshaun Watson. Let me show you my arm's fixed. I can throw again, and I'm going to take us back to where we left
Particularly when
off.
they're not going to have a quarterback.
Well,
to
I'd
start
have no
the season.
problem. I'd have no problem with him doing that. Obviously, it's not going to happen. I wouldn't have a
No.
problem with that. But I don't think the Browns did him wrong any more than any other player gets done wrong. In the
I just
NFL.
think out of respect for him and what he's done for the organization and for the community, he's done a lot for the community. They should have said, your numbers suck. We're going to look for other options.
Yeah.
We're keeping you in the loop of what we're doing. You don't have to like it because you don't get to like what your boss decides to do.
Right.
But your boss is telling you at least.
This is going to sound like I'm Cleve-splaining to you because you're not from here.
Yes.
But I really do think that part of the reason that you have maybe have a harder time appreciating Baker is because you haven't been here as long as we were, and we haven't had that horrible thing setting in in our hearts this whole time.
Well,
so he's the guy who finally won us a playoff game.
Right, I get it.
I
do
think it's
get
an
it.
emotional thing
I
for
do
us.
get it as someone
For me.
who grew up rooting for teams
Yeah.
that never won. Also.
Yes.
Yeah, but the
Right.
emotion's different when it's your team. And Mike, I
and
completely
that's all I'm
agree with
saying.
you. And I don't hold that against you, Bull.
But
you
no,
can
but
understand
here's
our
the bottom
pain.
line. Here's the bottom line: is that because you guys are too emotional. About
I agree.
it,
Yeah.
and you
I am.
overrate what Baker's done for the
Yes.
I am.
Most organizations. If a guy won one playoff game, we're not saying, "Look what he did."
We're
for
in
Yeah,
you."
but
total
we're not
agreement.
most organizations.
But it's-
Well,
We've
well,
had one in
but you
30
should
years.
strive to be.
Well,
Right.
here's for
We've had
me.
one in 30 years.
You shouldn't
I was-
lower your standard.
Hey,
We're
Bull,
not.
Bull,
Yes, you are.
Bull,
No,
Bull,
we're raising them.
I'll come to your defense here.
Yeah.
I've been born and raised in Canton, Ohio, right at the shadows of the Pro Football Hall of Fame. I'm tired of seeing other people go to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I see Boomer Esiason. I see these guys, the Bengals go twice. I seen all these other dudes. I'm like, yo, I need something to get there. I shout out to Baker. He's not terrible, but I will give him credit where credit is due. But at the end of the day, if I can make the move and I'm upgrading, I'm upgrading.
The way our movie ends, and Mike and I know this, we're like, careful that anvil that's going to fall out of the sky and hit you. The way our movie usually ends is Baker goes to Seattle and wins the Super Bowl, and we're stuck holding the bag.
Yep.
Or he goes to Carolina and
Why
you lose
none
the first
of the other Brown quarterbacks have
Right.
gone
No,
either?
but
You hook up with Hollywood
with Ben Roethlisberger.
for the game-winning
Browns
touchdown.
fans were begging the Browns to draft Ben Roethlisberger, and we didn't. And he went to Pittsburgh, our hated rival, and kicked our ass for 20 years.
So, I mean, here's the thing. I'm going to be honest with you. If the first game of the season is Carolina versus the Browns, right?
That's what's coming.
If Baker Mayfield is versus Jacoby Brissett, right?
Yeah. Yep.
The Panthers got a swinging chance
Look
in that
out.
game.
It's true. And the Browns,
Facts.
Yep.
the Browns might only
doubt.
win by 13. You're right.
All right,
doubt.
we got a break.
Thank you,
Robyn,
Robyn.
you were
Thanks.
fantastic.
Thank
you
you.
so much for coming in.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Tell
Robyn.
the viewers again. It's the Cleveland Browns Facebook group.
Cleveland Browns women's group.
Women's group.
Yes.
Cleveland Browns women's group. If you're not a member and you want to join,
You don't want to deal with
run
all
over
these
there and do it.
obnoxious men. Go.
Yeah.
you
That's
know.
a good filter, actually. If women ran the world, there'd be a lot fewer
Oh,
problems.
my
and I
God, there'd be
firmly
so much
believe
of a
that.
better place.
We're taking a break. We're coming back on the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show after this.